Hello and welcome to Sunday. I am your host, Phoenix Electra, and as we always start off the show, let's give Cat some snacks. Loki's ready for his snacks. Freya Froofers is ready for her snackies. There's some snackies for you, girl. Oh, strongman. How's everybody's week going? I know it's Sunday, it's a big day. People are celebrating with their families today, or they're not, whichever, it's all good. But, oh, hello, Loki Strongman. Yup, you make sure my fingers are clean before I start stitching. You want one more snacky? Okay. Oh, cats have had snacks. Don't lick the rest of that. Okay. So, I thought we'd do something just to, just cause we haven't done it. I know my chat doesn't have lots of people. My viewers are a very exclusive bunch. We might cap the audience up at 10 when we ever get there. But just so everybody knows, chat rules. No spam, no hate speech, name calling, harassment, or medical diagnoses. Okay, now that we've got that under. Oh, I had a viewer, lost a viewer. Guess it's going to be one of those days. How's my audio? How's everything going? And Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. All right, I guess this is the day. So, I spent most of the week mostly just working on my corset. Yeah, because that's our big project. I got one lacing strip of the eyelet started. I hacked ties from a different project that Loki very much enjoys hanging out with. And let's see if I don't stab myself with my needle today, because I already did that like 20 times this morning. Okay, Sunday. Sunday at last. Sunday at last. Sunday at last. Thank God Almighty, it's Sunday at last. Let all ears hear the word of freedom and let it ring true. All right. Oh, that's funny. I see posts, but not that anybody's watching. All right, so I guess this is going to be my day with YouTube, my very exclusive group of watchers, and my cute little 1940s style vintage bikini top. Yup, because I'm pretending that it's warm in summer. It's finally theoretically supposed to be 70 outside today, but it has been so cold and rainy that I still needed the heater on because I've been uncomfortable. It's been cold, cold, cold. But as you might have seen in the thumbnail, this corset is the tulip corset from Arania Black Corsetry. I'll try to link her YouTube's in the downstairs area. But I left her a message on Instagram, or left a comment on one of her posts, and she kindly replied to me, which as a social media nobody, it for some reason it always feels sweet when somebody who you're like, oh my god, somebody paid attention to me. Feels like a huge deal. And here's my consummate helper. You're not on in the screen. Here, come. You're being funny, Loki. Come where people can see you. Your fans can't see you. He thinks the boning strips are super awesome. I'm hoping that thumbs up means my sound is good or that cats are cute. I know cats are always cute, but as you probably nobody saw from my thumbnail because nobody pays attention to little old nobody me, we are going to talk about the death of legacy media today because I'm pretty sure that the corporate overlords of how we consume media are in their death throes. What do I mean by that? When's the last time you actually saw like a newspaper that was printed on paper. Do you even know what that is? Do you remember seeing those things? Yeah, it used to happen that we didn't have these things called computers or the internet, and that newspapers were like printed on real paper that was in giant factories and warehouses. I remember when I was a little kid, a couple times we actually like went and toured the newspaper printing factory. Yeah, it was huge. These like gigantic rolls of paper, and it was loud, and there was type, and you had to do stuff. Oh my God. Now people just press record or go live or start typing and hit publish. We don't need, we've gotten to this point. Oh, yeah, in the good old days when I hiked through the snow 40 miles to get to school just one way in my bare feet. No, that wasn't me. But now we're transitioning to this place of direct to consumer media consumption. And I think that that's a good thing. Yeah, newspapers are dying. Oh, I know that a lot of them, the big former print moguls papers, the New York Times, the Washington Post, I'm sure pretty much everybody, if all of them, if they don't have a um that most of the papers realized that subscription that they needed to change the way they were offering their content, and many of them have moved online, if not all of them. Really? I did not know that. Your grandfather had a career in the local newspaper. Interesting. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I've got to do something. All right, back. Sorry, I had to powder my nose real fast there. The Dunkirk Inquirer. Yes, we mean Dunkirk, France. Let's get back to our live chat. It's a true democracy online. Let's see. Well, that kind of depends on which platform, because I just saw the other day one of the law tubers who's been following the January 6th events pull a number of his videos because YouTube's own policies don't they they took down a clip from the hearings, which is just absurd. It's kind of the same thing that happened. Oh, right. That I also saw. Was it C-SPAN? So Rand Paul was talking to Congress, and C-SPAN televises it, and YouTube pulled it. I mean, come on. What kind of a place is this that we're not able to see publicly? There's cameras in Congress, in the Senate and the Congress, in the House, for a reason, so that we, the people, can see what our government is up to. That YouTube is censoring what we can see that our government is up to, I have problems and I have questions. It's just what what country do I live in? What is going on? This is complete insanity. And I have words, and I'm speaking them. because it irritates me, but I need to stay happy because I don't want angry stitches. Like the old-fashioned sewing books are like, make sure you change your clothes, put something pretty on, put your face on, and have a nice cup of tea and think happy. We don't just be happy when you're sewing. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Platforms are autocratic, the people are democratic when allowed. Yes. But we just need that like 5 individuals own all of the major broadcasting outlets, not just in this country, but across the world, is terrifying. Some rich person and their employees gets to tell you what you get to see and read and hear and have it be filtered through their lenses rather than humans being allowed to be independent critical thinkers, which I'm not a sheep. I have a brain. I like to use it. I don't want to just be fed bullshit. I like to make my own decisions, please and thank you. I say no, which is why I have a love-hate relationship with YouTube. But I somehow managed to be last week. Thank you to my 5 new Rumblers over on Rumble. We'll get to talk about them in a little bit too, because they had some huge announcements this week. But let's stay on one topic at a time. So yeah, and the integrity of some of the new journalists. I'm sure this is probably not. This can't be all of the young reporters, but I've seen a couple, i.e., Taylor Lorenz. I'm looking at you, who are just unscrupulous with the lack of care and foresight in their reporting. So much so that the other day she was demoted from a features reporter to a tech reporter and needs to have her work be okayed by one of the top editors, that she needs her hand held because she's just not telling the truth and then lying about not telling the truth and just. All right, excuse me. I'll be back in 1 second. We're having one of these mornings. It's a good thing that Wave, in their free version. Yeah, and we are back. It's cold and my allergies are still kicking off, so I keep having to powder my nose here. And I'm just cold. I should have grabbed a sweater while I got up that last time, but you know, I can't remember everything. What is going on here? Okay, there we go. Yeah, and this is the second newspaper that she's irritated because she was previously at the New York Times and wrote an article about Ariadna Jacobs, who, for lack of a better word, positioned herself in this amazing spot to be a talent agent for the up and coming platforms of TikTok and YouTube and who knows what other platforms, but that people like me, anybody, we can just turn our stuff on and maybe people will pay attention to us. And some of these kids needed direction and help, and she provided it. And Taylor poached her clients, for lack of a better word, and lied about it. So Taylor Lorenz isn't directly being sued, but she is vicariously via the New York Post. If I say any of those things wrong, please go to Ariadna Jacobs' YouTube channel where she speaks for herself about these events and or her interview from I guess it was a few months ago now with um, Viva Frei and Robert Barnes over on either vivabarneslaw.locals.com or their YouTubes. And since I'm grifting for other folks, let me just say a moment. If you like the way this stream looks, click on my link in the downstairs for my affiliate code for Wave.video.com because I think their free version is great. Excuse me, holy balls. Though I did realize that I only have a 10 gig limit for my videos, so I need to remember to either download them in their full glory like this or just delete them afterwards because I know that my camera records it, so I don't need like 5 copies of the same video. And to the best protein powder in the world from HTLT Sup. It's good. It's real good. You'll like it. You should order some today. Alright, I've practiced my grifting. Hey there, Lokester. The doors, he wants to go outside, but the washing machine is going and he's afraid to walk in front of it. And also there's weed whacking happening. So he's also like, it's noisy and scary, so I know my sister's gonna be outside, but I'd prefer to just see the outside from in my safe little window seat, please, thanks. And to which I say, okay. Whatever you need, Loki. Oh, I'm missing some chats here. Let's see here. Oops. How do I do? Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna pull that one up, but yeah. Yeah, Amber Heard really should just stop talking. And I don't know whether she's trying to like play up the sympathy card of not having money that she got photographed over at TJ Maxx shopping, or is it Ross? I can't remember. Whatever. But someplace you're like, she's shopping there now. You know what? No shade. Just because you have money doesn't mean you need to spend the most, buy the most expensive things. It's quality over quantity, and she's got some money to pay off. And if she, yeah, there's a lot going on there. What are you doing, Hansum? Hansum. He's gonna go lay on my other patterns. Oh, no. He's just being his goofy, creepy self. And also this week, speaking about lack of young journalistic integrity, somebody from so the way that I first heard it was that 23 articles from the USA, believe it was the USA Today, were removed due to issues, and I'm going to forget all of the exact things. And then later it sounds like that all these articles were actually written by the same person. So, yeah. I mean, come on, you gotta fact check. You can't attribute sources where they didn't happen, and it's just weird. Just weird. So, be critical in your thinking. Which is why I try, I don't love hearing about the politics stuff, but Robert Gouvier makes it palatable, which is great. You have to find a voice, sometimes literally the way the sound of their voice, that you have to enjoy listening to them, but is also, I try to search out, if I don't know something, I find somebody who's more of an expert in a field and take their, and see what they have to say about an issue. The same way that I enjoy the Alexes over at the Durian, what is it, Cristoforo and Mercurio? I don't remember. beautiful Greek last names. Lots of vowels. But well, let's see here. Yeah, so we talked about the sitting senator, which also this also goes back to this free speech issue that Amber Heard keeps belittling on about. That is just crazy. Everybody has the right to talk. What you don't have the right to do is to spread lies about people. That is not protected speech. Outright lying. But there gets to be this uncomfortable place where the comics, the satirists live that can say truths in a way that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And kind of, in my humble opinion, those folks, if those individuals don't leave you feeling a little bit uncomfortable, I don't think they've done their job very well. I mean, Dave Chappelle is definitely one of those comics that individuals love to hate. And he's definitely had his struggles and experiences. So it's not as though he speaks without lack of firsthand knowledge and experience on a number of issues. But when his show was still on back in the early 2000s, trying to think of where I lived and where I visited my sister to go visit. Yeah, the early 2000s, because I hadn't moved west yet. I mean, it was almost painful. I wanted to laugh, but I was like, is this funny? Am I gonna be a weird person if I admit that this makes me giggle? No, it's okay. It is a-okay. And that's kind of also these young individuals who are on this train of just demanding respect without having done anything to earn it. So in my world, respect is something that you earn. It's not something I can be like, I demand that you respect my authority. Because that's a surefire way for people to be like, yeah, F you, I'm out of here. Not interested. And there's hair in my eyes and it's making me itch. It's just, respect is earned by your merits, your quality as a human. It's not because I say you should. But, yeah. That's what I got to say about that, because it involved being again with the thumbs. Because earning respect is about critical thinking. Are you a human that does good deeds, is kind to others and animals and those less fortunate? What do you do? It's not just because you exist. Sorry. Let's see here. I'm blowing through my talking points too fast. We did that. We did that. Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna skip that. I don't want to talk about politics right now. But let me just say from that thought that I had is if there's pre-existing legislation that's not being enforced, you don't need to write more laws. You just need to utilize the ones that are already there. Okay? Okay. Let's see here. Comedy is funny because it's rooted in everyday life. Absolutely. As in the words of the great sage Homer the Simpson, it's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true. Can I pull this one off? Okay. Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. Oh, yes, because I completely believed at 11 that Edward Scissorhands actually had scissors on his hands. Oh, man. Oh, please just take a break from the spotlight and just get well and try to be a good mom and a good human. That's all we want. Just go away for a while, please. Because if not, we're going to continue to talk about you, and you might not like it. You might not like it. No! Exactly. Exactly. Mm. Yeah, so should we talk about one of the last things? Okay, hearing things. Um, so this week, for the first time ever, I actually watched an episode of Timcast IRL, mainly because in real life there was the Viva and the Barnes, and I'm gonna forget his name, the founder of Rumble, because they had a huge announcement this week. Hello, sweet man. Namely, that they have I didn't know. They're an open source platform. So if that's cool for you, they've got an open source platform. And their terms and services are also open source and free to use and share and retool. One of the best things that I saw this week was that they, in lieu of a copyright policy, they Barnes and Viva helped to draft their rules, terms of engagement, like the old-fashioned town square. And many of you who might be young whippersnappers, I don't know. I don't know who watches my stuff afterwards, but thanks, replay crew. Hit the likey and the subscribey and leave me a comment and tell me what you're working on and how your day is. But things that were acceptable in the town square. So no hate speech, no what's purulent, prurient, prurient behavior. I'm gonna forget that word that I learned from Kurt over at Uncivil Law. I think it's prurient. There's a P and there's a U and there's some R's. And but Rumble has there's no lifetime bans. If you do something excruciatingly horrific, you are only banned from the platform for 12 months, which is unique. Also, that what's the word? Terms of service challenges can be there is I'm gonna guess it's folks who volunteer from the community to help have their say on whether things like Rumble might make a wrong decision and the community says, no, we don't agree with you, and a video might get put up or a content creator may be reinstated, which I think is really awesome. It's not this like closed door behind the black curtain of YouTube's or Instagram or Twitch or whatever other service might be. That there's actual real like community participation, which I think is fascinating and fabulous. And oh, Loki's like just out of screen here sitting with me. Why don't you come sit a little closer? Can I woo you? Can I woo you closer, my love? Come here, big boy. Because the audience wants to see cute cats, not just me and my stitching. They want to see you too, handsome. They want to see you. Your fans are waiting for you. So I'm super excited to make more use of Rumbles and Local because why not? I I I'm on board with their platforms. Do people pay attention to me there? No, not yet. Well, actually, no, that's not true because I gained some Rumblers. They call them Rumbles, but I like Rumblers better. But regardless, I'm super excited for that. And I'm also super excited for the Alison Morrow, Baron Franzak collaboration. Did I talk about this last week? So, just a little what I know briefly of their biographies. Alison Morrow used to work at one of the major local news outlets in the Seattle metro area. I probably saw her when I used to live in that region, but I can't remember because I haven't lived there for a while, and part of my time there was lost in this bubble called school that took up a lot of time and energy. And Farron worked at, I think she said she's worked at all of the major outlets and local news. And most recently, she had a position at RT before they went defunct in this country. And that they're the whole, not even in this country, Europe is trying to, oh my God. I know even less about what's going. Yeah, there's shenanigans regarding what countries think about. Oh, I can't even. I can't even. Partly because I don't know the right words, and partly because it just makes me irritated. What? So, oh, I haven't finished this guy yet. So here's the front, and then these strips are gonna get attached like so. And then, did I leave my modesty panel across the room? Yeah. So we are coming along, coming along. We only have like a few gajillion more eyelets left to sew. And just bouncing around from what I'm working on. Because I can do whatever I want. This is my show, and I'll do what I want. I do want this to kind of be sort of correct. So I think it's 3/4 of an inch. Or 2 centimeters. I'll go with 2 centimeters. And I'm just going to reinforce the markings here. Yeah. What I did for these earlier ones is I marked it, and as you can see here, I do 2 rows of outline stitches, carefully cut the middle, and then do a blanket stitch around to reinforce them. And then you end up with these lovely little stitch sections. So I need to do this one, finish sewing the boning in this one, and then repeat the process. So we have so much more fun times to come. But our corset's coming along, and I went through and decided I just need some more new things because I just need new things right now. And my sewing stash is huge. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of things, namely some more undergarments because I had to throw some things out because they were past their prime and just didn't fit anymore. So I have room in my closets and my drawers. But that will be for later. Yeah, it's Sunday. I fetched. Got all that stuff out of my system. And now you're just watching me painfully try to thread my needle again. Because there's nothing like live streaming and trying to thread your needle. You kind of need to concentrate, and you're like, I can't talk while I do this. But you're like, but I'm live, and I don't want my audience to have all this like random bare quietness. Because I don't have my. Oh, here, let's try something. Let's see how this is gonna go. Do 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 do. Let's try this and see what this. Let's. Does that? I don't hear that. But I wonder. It says it's playing. No, I'll just leave it quiet because I don't want to blow people's eardrums off. So let's have some background music while I get this needle threaded. I feel like I got a space filler. Okay, pay attention to me, thread. Do it. Oh my god. It's like the most painful piece of my streams. I'm trying to thread my thread in my needle, and it says, we're not interested today. Alright. Did it. And we had a musical interlude. I hear it. Alright, so it does play. It's just that I couldn't hear it. Hopefully it did not blow people's eardrums off Crazy Town. And excuse me, I am so ready for my allergy season to finally be over with. I've had enough of it. But I'm glad that it's the middle of June and things are still green because there's been times where it's already been 100 and there's been fires already. Actually, there's been fires already, just not quite where I live. Yeah, it's a thing. Okay, yeah, it makes the tension of the threading dramatic. All right. Good. I'm glad that it added some mystery and drama to my periods where it's hard for me to talk. I didn't preview their free audio options. I was like, I like the way that sounds. Let's put that one on. And I did. So we're just gently taking tiny stitches in a circular formation. Mm-mm-mm. I know this is just the practice strips. We'll probably. I don't know. I can't even conceive. Actually, that's not true. I know that the first one is going to be pink silk brocade that I showed earlier. And I'll probably use the mock-up as the interior. And we'll go from there. Because I have a feeling once I get through the first one, I'm like, now I need another one. Actually, we'll probably go back to my rest of my Victorian circus costume, or Victorian Edwardian, turn of the whatever, my historical inspired circus costume. Because they're about inspiration and not necessarily accuracy. Partly because if I'm going to make it, it needs to actually be hoopable, and I need to be able to move and perform in it. So there's that. But I did go through some fabric that was lost in the covered spaces and found cute stuff to make a couple of pairs of new tap pants, because the ones I have are kind of big, and I just need a couple more, because actually I want it all, I want it all, and I want it now. Except that we do slow fashion around here, so it'll get done when it gets done. Though I have a number of new mock-ups for things that I prepped yesterday to do some batch sewing at the machine. To be a little bit quicker. But we'll get there. We'll see what we're going to do today. Whatever we want besides laundry and yeah. Okay. So you can see there's the completed one. I've done this. Now I'm going to stab a hole and cut gently. Cross your fingers and wish me luck that I don't cut anything inappropriately. And you could use I just use my scissors that are right here. And I usually just very gently make little snips. Like when you're clipping curves. Literally. And the scariest part is you want to get to the other lines of thread, but not through the lines of thread. However, it doesn't completely matter because we're going to go through that hole that we've made and we're going to buttonhole stitch all the way around until we get back to the beginning. And then we will repeat this process about a gajillion more times. And then we will repeat it again on the other lacing strip, which is probably why some people invest in the giant metal puncher kinder things, but don't have it, don't feel like buying metal eyelets, and I'm shopping my stash and I'm doing it this way because this is my corset and I get to do what I want. Try to make nice stitches. You know, I was kind of sad I had to watch LawTube this morning. There was no sewers on this morning to get me hyped up for my stream. But that's alright. I don't mind getting I forgot where I was going with that. But we're having fun. Yeah, so is anybody doing anything fun? Any barbecues? Going to the lake, the ocean, the river, to the woods? I'm excited that my tomatoes in my tomato island are growing nicely. They've got flowers, so there's probably some baby tomatoes. And I felt super lazy because we got starts this year, but no shame. I'm surprised that we had anything in the garden this year because it was so dry getting to this point, and then June was like, "Hey, we're gonna make up for lost times and rain and be in the 50s and 60s," which where I live is crazy. Like winter weather, but we will take the rain. We'll take it. Man, I know what are we gonna watch later because Viva and Burns were on yesterday. Ew, maybe we'll watch Legal Vices later. I think he's going on at 3:30 my time. I don't know what time he's going on your time. I guess in his time it's probably tomorrow morning already over in Korea, but what else? I'm not ready to think about tomorrow being Monday. Wait, let's vote for a 3-day. Yeah, never mind. It's fine. It's all fine. Ah, somebody's watering outside. Good, good. You keep the soil moist. Sorry for all you haters who do not like the word moist. I could care less. But, indeedy. Oh, we're in the home stretch of this eyelet. So they don't take that long to sew. I mean, it does take a little bit of time. I didn't time myself. How long was that? A couple minutes, 5 minutes? But we're not finished. So it's easier when I don't get myself caught in knots. So, it's just the way the stitching goes sometimes. This is one of my better eyelets. I think this is one of those things where the more you sew, the more of them you do, the better they get. But then at the same time, people are like, "Oh my God, you sewed all those by hand. You're amazing." And people don't really like. You're like, "Yeah, but this one's bad and this one's bad." You know what? Sometimes you just gotta say, be quiet your brain, and just say thank you, because always know where the mistakes are in your projects, but other people don't. So don't draw attention to it needlessly. You don't have to. You don't have to. And we're gonna tie that off. This strip in the middle, they were so close that I just used the same thread and just carried it through because I didn't feel like starting and stopping a gajillion times, so I didn't. And maybe I'll be a nice. Um, where's my marking? Where's my pencil? The one that you stuck in your ear? Oh yeah, that one. I'm just making a little X to kind of use as my guideline. And you don't even need to knot your thread. If you take your stitches tiny enough or run like a little back stitch, that will hold it all that, and you're going to cover all of it over anyway. So it's not as though we don't try to practice fine stitching techniques, we just don't always do them. But that doesn't mean that we don't try when we're able to. Okay, I need a sweater. I can't tell whether I'm like getting overly warm or whether I'm frozen. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, so then we just repeat this for however many that I didn't count that I still have left. Oh, I should have left Kurt's. Go subscribe to Kurt over at Uncivil Law. He is closing in on 100,000 subscribers, and it would just make his day. Can we do it? Can we get Kurt to 100,000? I'm gonna keep my eyes open for that to happen because he deserves it. He's another character that he's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. I just want to be the right cup for the right humans. Because if you're for the masses, then you're for nobody that's got a brain. I'd rather be for the cultured few than the brainwashed many. And that is fine. This is super. This fabric just like shreds itself, I say. Hmm. Yeah, so I've heard some previews of the not pre it's not a preview. Reading the Brian Williams, aka the artist known as Marilyn Manson, lawsuit against Evan Rachel Wood and Gore, originally Ashley, and then changed it to Ilma, which appears to be a made up name because I can't find any origins for it. Very odd. Like a good cup of Joe. Yes. Can we talk about Joe? Who ever said, what can just go to Tim Hortons, go to Dunkin' Donuts? Why with the frickin' 7-Eleven coffee? Like, unless you're there for the creamers and not like, I don't, oh my god. You make me sad. You make me sad, Joe. I kind of just want to send you. Maybe you need to go to the Quartering and order some of his coffee brand coffee. Do we need to like send you coffee brand coffee? Is that what needs to happen here? Or some like I mean, it makes me cringe every time I see him with his cup of 7-Eleven coffee. I'm just like, oh man. But I guess whatever is your flavor, I grew up somehow to become not a huge coffee snob, but I like what I like in the coffee department, and I know what I don't like. Oh, Joe. I wonder what shenanigans he's going to be up to tonight on his show. Oh! I take that back. I know what shenanigans Joe is up to tonight. He's going to have a repeat of his panel from the night before. Is it going to be legal vices, not legal mindset, law and lumber, legal vices, and what's his face? Who was on the motorcycle trip? Who was going to go to Hicksville? And his websites get hard. I can't remember. The self-defense guy. I oh, sorry, getting distracted by stuff. Should we? I see what's happening now. All right, we're almost closing on an hour, so should we end with a trick like we did the other week? I was trying to think of like which trick to do. So hopefully I don't break anything. Ta-da! All right. Oh, knocking stuff around. Don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself. And don't wait until tomorrow. You can be fabulous today. Bye.